And a judge upholds Seattle's so-called gun violence tax, the measure adding $25 to the price of each firearm sold in the city, plus 2 or 5 cents per round of ammunition. The Second Amendment Foundation promises an appeal. Founder Alan Gottlieb says, quote, "It is unconscionable for Mayor Ed Murray and the city council to codify what amounts to social bigotry against firearms retailers and their customers." Joining us now is Tucker Carlson, editor of the Daily Caller, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, and of course Fox News contributor. Tucker, great to see you.
Hey, good morning, Abby.
So we heard social bigotry there from Alan Gottlieb. Is that something you would agree with?
Well, I think it's just dumb. I mean, there's no social scientist or criminologist in the world who would say this is going to reduce gun violence. It's a tax against all gun buyers and gun retailers when anyone who studies it knows a very small group of people is responsible for the overwhelming majority of gun violence in the country. But even from an epidemiological point of view, it doesn't make sense. Consider car accidents, which kill about 3 times more people than gun murders do. Would it make sense to increase the tax on car sales or require a background check to buy one or ban private sales of vehicles or to limit the number of gallons of gasoline you could put in your car? Of course not. You look at the populations that are most likely to cause car accidents. You look at drunk driving. You look at young drivers. I mean, this is not actually an answer to gun violence. It's a way of disarming law-abiding citizens, obviously, and they're not even pretending otherwise. They can't explain how this is going to make Seattle safer. It won't, and they know it.
Well, what the city is arguing is this raise in taxes is going to raise, what, about $500,000 they're going to put towards offsetting the cost of gun violence. And just to give people a sense, the direct medical costs of treating about 250 gunshot victims last year in Seattle totaled more than $17 million. Taxpayers ended up paying for more than $12 million of that. So do they have a point here in saying, look, the tax is going to come from somewhere. We might as well make those that are buying guns pay for that?
Well, it's ludicrous. I mean, I don't know. What's the cost of treating AIDS in Seattle? We're going to, tax everyone who uses intravenous drugs or, perform certain kinds of sex acts? I mean, it's insane. First of all, you don't ever blame the tool. You take a look at the person who commits the crime using the tool, and you consider his motive in a way, in a way that's useful to stopping him from doing it again. Your house falls down, you don't ban hammer sales because it was constructed with hammers and nails, right? I mean, again, there's no actual scientific justification for this, and that's puzzling given that the left is forever lecturing the rest of us about science and how the right doesn't believe in science or gravity or photosynthesis or global warming or whatever. And yet, time after time, their gun control proposals are not rooted in social science. And by the way, there's a lot of it. I wrote a book on this once. There's a lot of study that has been done on this question, longitudinal studies over decades about why people commit gun violence, and they don't make reference to any of it. It's just guns are bad. I mean, it's overwhelmingly emotional and therefore not useful. And by the way, it's fine to be emotional about it.
It is emotional. Yes. And Tucker, there are a lot of people, of course, that are wanting more gun reform. So you wonder if this is going to be an experiment in Seattle that plays out elsewhere around the country. But Tucker Carlson, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
28 past the hour, the White House facing strong criticism from Republicans who say Iran keeps pushing the limits and pushing some more.
This administration